The galaxy was full of stories. Some were told in whispers, others in warnings, and a few in outright fear. Among all these tales, one story stood taller than the rest. The story of human space. No alien species dared enter it. No trader, explorer, or warship ever crossed its invisible borders. The reasons were unclear. Even to the most learned alien scholars, some believed it was a natural anomaly, a region of space where physics bent strangely. Others thought humans had built something so dangerous that no species could survive its defenses. In the midst of this uncertainty, the Galactic Survey Fleet assigned a new mission to a young human captain named Lyra Venn. She was 29 years old, with short, dark hair and eyes that seemed to notice everything. Lyra had grown up hearing stories of human courage and intelligence, but she had never faced the strange, terrifying unknown that awaited at the edge of human space. Her ship, the Resolute, was sleek and fast. It was designed for long-range exploration and equipped with the latest human technology shields that could adapt to energy fluctuations, sensors that could detect anomalies light years away, and engines that could outrun almost anything. Her crew was small but skilled, a mix of engineers, navigators, and scientists. Each of them respected humans' reputation for ingenuity, but none had truly seen the frontier of human space. As the Resolute approached the border, the stars seemed to shift. Sensors went haywire. Strange energy readings appeared and disappeared without explanation. It was not dangerous yet, but it was unsettling. "Captain," said Rin, the lead engineer, "our sensors keep picking up something. It's not normal. The energy fluctuations don't match any known phenomenon." Lyra studied the readings. Lines and numbers flashed across the display, bending and twisting like a river. "Keep tracking it," she said calmly. "We're entering the unknown. That's what humans do. We study, we adapt, and we move forward. Nothing else matters." The crew exchanged glances. Humans were known across the galaxy for their courage and creativity, but it was rare for aliens, or even human scientists, to explore the edges of their own territory. This region had been left untouched for decades. Hours passed. The strange readings continued. Stronger now, almost like a presence watching them. And then, they saw it, a drifting alien vessel. Its hull was scratched, torn, and its lights flickered weakly. The ship appeared abandoned, yet life signs were faint but present. Lyra ordered the crew to approach cautiously. "Rin, open a channel. Let's see if anyone is alive inside." The response was silence. The ship's communication system was completely offline. Lyra frowned. It was unusual. No advanced civilization could have such a failure without cause. "Prepare the rescue team," Lyra commanded. "We don't know what we'll find." The crew suited up and boarded the alien vessel. It was dark inside, with corridors twisted and machinery damaged. The air was breathable, but faint energy pulses suggested something had gone terribly wrong. Humans had faced dangerous situations before, but even they could feel the tension here. At the bridge of the alien ship, they found the crew unconscious, floating in zero gravity. Their bodies were unharmed, but their minds were unresponsive. Rin scanned them and shook his head. No physical injuries. Whatever happened, it affected their systems or their neural pathways directly. Lyra examined the ship's technology. It was impressive, far beyond most civilizations she had studied. But there were signs of sabotage. Critical systems were disabled. Navigation was unreliable. And most strangely, some devices seemed deliberately designed to mislead intruders, almost as if the humans who had defended this region had anticipated alien intrusion long before anyone arrived. "This is clever," Lyra said. "Humans don't rely on brute force alone. We think ahead, we prepare, and we adapt." Rin frowned. "But who? Why would humans sabotage another species' ship?" Lyra shook her head. "Not sabotage in anger. Defense. Our ancestors never fought for conquest in this sector. They fought to protect their own space. And clearly, the galaxy took notice. That's why no one dares enter human space. Back on the Resolute, Lyra reviewed the ship's data. Patterns emerged, traps and countermeasures scattered across the region, all designed to confuse or disable intruders. Humans had created a system of protection unlike any other. A ship could try to enter, but the moment it did, every measure of human ingenuity would respond. Lyra felt a sense of pride. Humans had never relied on sheer numbers or overwhelming weapons. They had always relied on creativity, teamwork, and strategy. That was the real strength of humanity. Yet questions remained. How far did this reach go? How many layers of protection had humans built? And, most importantly, what would happen if an entire alien fleet tried to breach human space? The next day, as the Resolute continued its survey, the ship encountered more strange anomalies, gravity waves bending unnaturally, light appearing to shift direction, and sensors detecting movement that didn't exist. Each incident reminded the crew that they were not just exploring unknown space, they were approaching a frontier shaped by humans themselves. Rin suggested mapping the anomalies carefully. "Captain, if we can understand the pattern, maybe we can predict what humans have done here. Maybe we can learn without risking our lives." Rin. "Created." Rin. Lyra nodded. "Exactly. Observation first. Strategy second. That is how humans survive. And that is how humans thrive." Hours later, they reached a point that older maps labeled as neutral space, where even humans rarely traveled. Here, the strange readings intensified. A large field of energy stretched across several light years. It flickered like a silent storm. Yet no ship had ever been damaged here, except those who dared to cross its boundaries without understanding it. "Captain," said Tarek, the science officer, "these energy fields, they seem almost intelligent. It's like they respond to our ship." Lyra leaned closer to the display. Indeed. The patterns changed whenever the Resolute adjusted course or speed. It was as if the space itself was watching, analyzing, and learning. "That's exactly what humans do," she said softly. "We don't just react, we anticipate, and so does our space. We make the galaxy respect us before anyone can even touch us." Suddenly, a warning signal blared. A small alien scout ship appeared, trying to probe the Resolute. It was fast, sleek, and well-armed, but within seconds, its systems malfunctioned, its engines stuttered, and it drifted harmlessly away. The crew stared in awe. "Humans," Lyra said with a small smile, "don't need to destroy anyone to protect their home. Our presence alone ensures respect." The alien scout fled, and the Resolute continued its journey deeper into the frontier. Lyra knew that what she was witnessing was only a fraction of the truth. Human space was more than territory, it was a symbol. It represented a species that could face the unknown, prepare for the unexpected, and survive against odds no one else could imagine. As the Resolute charted more systems, Lyra made her report. "The galaxy believes human space is untouchable," she wrote. "And after what I have seen, I understand why. Humans protect their own, not through fear, but through intelligence, creativity, and adaptability. No species has yet learned to match that. No species dares enter human space." Mark, at the end of the day, as the Resolute floated among the stars, Lyra looked out at the void. The mysteries of human space were vast, but one truth was clear. Humanity had crafted a domain unlike any other in the galaxy, and it would remain untouched, respected, and feared. Not because humans sought to dominate, but because humans always found a way to survive, protect, and thrive. The stars outside seemed brighter that night, as if acknowledging a silent truth. The galaxy had heard the story of humans, and now, through the actions of their ancestors and the ingenuity of the present, the story was living proof. Enter human space at your own risk. And with that, the Resolute sailed onward, deeper into the unknown, ready to uncover more secrets, guided by the ingenuity, courage, and determination that had always defined humanity. The Resolute had moved deeper into the frontier, and Captain Lyra Ven's mind was alive with questions. The anomalies, the disabled alien ship, and the strange energy fields had all confirmed one thing. Human space was more than just territory. It was a living defense, a creation of human ingenuity. Lyra gathered her crew in the ship's command room. "What we are seeing here," she began, pointing to the maps and readings, "is not luck. Humans have always adapted. We think ahead. We protect what is ours, not just with weapons, but with cleverness and foresight." Tarek, the science officer, nodded. "Captain, the energy patterns we saw, they seem almost strategic, like they are set up to confuse or redirect intruders," Rin added. "And the ship we found, its systems were not just damaged. They were manipulated. Someone anticipated every possible move an intruder might make." Lyra smiled. "That's exactly it. Our ancestors didn't just defend. They outsmarted. That is why the galaxy fears human space." The Resolute continued along the edge of the frontier, entering a region that had never been charted in detail. Here, human settlements existed, but unlike ordinary colonies, they were designed for both research and defense. Stations floated in orbit around asteroids and small planets, each equipped with advanced sensors, rapid response drones, and automated defensive systems. From a distance, it might seem ordinary, but any alien ship that approached without permission would immediately find itself trapped in a network of human innovation. Lyra and her crew visited one of these frontier stations. It was called Haven 1-2, and its commander, an older human named Admiral Celine Mora, welcomed them warmly. "Captain Ven," Celine said, her eyes bright with experience, "you have seen only a fraction of what makes human space untouchable. We don't rely on sheer force. We rely on thinking, adapting, and anticipating. Humans always find a way." Lyra followed Celine through the station. She saw engineers coordinating drones, scientists monitoring energy fields, and tacticians running simulations that predicted alien behavior. Everything was connected, everything was prepared. "The galaxy calls us dangerous," Celine continued. "But it is not because we fight harder or faster. It is because we imagine possibilities others cannot. When an alien fleet tries to cross into our space, it finds itself outmatched, not by numbers, but by human intelligence." Lyra listened closely. She had always known humans were clever, but seeing it applied on such a massive scale was astonishing. "How did humans achieve this?" she asked. Celine paused. "Generations of necessity. Every frontier world was a test. Every invasion, real or imagined, taught us to think, adapt, and survive. We learned not to fear the unknown, but to prepare for it. Humans don't wait to react, we anticipate. That is why no one enters human space willingly." The next challenge came sooner than expected. While studying star charts in the command room, Lyra noticed a fleet of alien ships approaching the border. They were not hostile, at least, not yet, but they were testing. They wanted to see if the stories about human space were true. Lyra called the crew to stations. "This is exactly what we came here to study," she said. "Observe carefully. Learn from humans in action." As the alien ships neared, Haven 1-2 activated its systems. At first, the aliens noticed nothing. Sensors, drones, and energy grids responded silently, creating confusion. Their communications jammed intermittently, their engines struggled as gravitational anomalies appeared unexpectedly, and automated defense drones shadowed them, ready to react at a moment's notice. One alien vessel attempted a maneuver to break through the frontier, but its systems suddenly misfired. Energy shields flared, sensors went blind, and it drifted helplessly for a few tense moments before retreating. The aliens were stunned. They had never experienced such precision without open combat. Lyra studied the displays. "Humans," she said, "do not need to destroy. We create conditions where intrusion fails before it begins." The aliens withdrew, confused and cautious. Their fleet retreated beyond sensor range, leaving the frontier in calm silence. Lyra turned to her crew. That is the human way. Strength without violence. Control without aggression. Adaptability without arrogance. Over the following days, the Resolute explored more frontier stations. Each station revealed a layer of human ingenuity, communication networks that could link stations and ships instantly, sharing real-time data across light years, energy shields capable of adapting to any known weapon or natural phenomenon, autonomous drones that could repair or defend any location in minutes, simulation grids where humans ran thousands of hypothetical scenarios, predicting alien strategies before they happened. Lyra realized the scale of what humans had built. It was not just technology, it was philosophy. Humans had learned to treat knowledge, preparation, and teamwork as the ultimate weapon. The next encounter tested the Resolute directly. An alien scouting ship slipped past the outer defenses and approached them. Its sensors detected the Resolute, and it attempted to disable the ship. But humans were ready. The ship's AI predicted the aliens' actions, countering them instantly. Energy pulses were redirected, shields adapted, and communication arrays blocked attempts to interfere. The alien crew, frustrated and overwhelmed, fled. Rin laughed, astonished. "Captain, it's like they're running into a wall they can't see." Lyra nodded. "Exactly. Humans don't just defend. We teach our enemies the limits of what we can do, without firing a single shot if we don't need to." The crew began to understand why no species dared enter human space. It was not fear alone. It was respect for a species that had mastered thinking ahead, adapting, and surviving. Tarek, studying the energy patterns, pointed to a new anomaly. "Captain, look at this. The frontier isn't just defended physically, it's almost alive. The fields respond to movement, to energy, to thought. It's as if the frontier itself protects humans, anticipating danger before it arrives." Lyra considered this. Humans shape the world around them. We adapt, and the frontier becomes an extension of our strategy. That is why we survive. And that is why the galaxy respects us. As days passed, the crew of the Resolute began to see patterns in the anomalies. Each was designed not to destroy intruders, but to confuse and redirect. Ships were funneled into safe zones, energy fields slowed or diverted them, and autonomous drones guided or repaired ships as needed. Humans had created a system that ensured survival first, victory second. Lyra realized that this was a lesson for the galaxy. Humans did not need massive fleets or overwhelming firepower. They needed ingenuity, cooperation, and preparation. That was the true power of human space. One evening, as the crew rested, Lyra looked out at the stars. She thought of all the stories she had heard as a child, the myths of humans who faced impossible odds, the legends of frontier worlds that survived against stronger foes, and the tales of alien fleets retreating before a single shot was fired. Now, she understood them fully. Humans had never needed to fight to be respected. Their brilliance alone created boundaries that others feared. The following day, a new challenge arose. An alien research vessel attempted to enter human space, this time more carefully. It tried to probe the frontier defenses without alerting humans. Lyra and her crew observed silently. The vessel moved like a shadow, analyzing energy fields, testing sensors, and trying to map the frontier. But humans were always a step ahead. Autonomous grids adjusted energy fields in response. Drones shadowed the ship invisibly, and sensor anomalies created illusions that confused the intruders. After several hours, the alien vessel retreated, unable to predict or understand the frontier's responses. Its crew reported back in amazement, confirming what others had always whispered. Humans were unpredictable, intelligent, and impossible to outsmart. Lyra smiled. "That is the lesson of the human way," she told her crew. "We do not intimidate by force. We protect by understanding, preparing, and anticipating. The galaxy respects us because humans are clever, adaptable, and united." That is why no one dares cross our boundaries. In the days that followed, Lyra documented everything. She recorded maps, energy patterns, defensive systems, and historical records of human ingenuity. Every lesson, every detail, became part of a report meant to explain why human space remained untouchable, and through it all, Lyra felt a growing pride. Humans had survived the unknown, not by being the strongest, but by being the smartest. They had mastered the art of preparation, the science of adaptation, and the courage to face uncertainty. The frontier was not just defended, it was a living proof of human brilliance. By the time the Resolute left the station, Lyra knew one truth. The galaxy would continue to fear human space. Not because of weapons, but because humans represented something far greater. Ingenuity, creativity, and resilience. Humans had turned these qualities into their ultimate defense, and in that realization, Lyra understood the promise of the future. No species would dare enter human space, not because humans sought dominance, but because humans had created a way to survive, thrive, and outthink any challenge the galaxy could present. The stars stretched endlessly before them, silent witnesses to human genius. The frontier awaited, full of secrets, challenges, and lessons. And Captain Lyra Venn, aboard the Resolute, was ready to discover them all. Captain Lyra Venn and the crew of the Resolute had now seen the true scale of human space. It was not just a territory, it was a living, breathing network of intelligence, strategy, and preparation. Every station, every energy field, every autonomous drone existed as part of a system designed to ensure humanity's survival without unnecessary violence. Lyra knew that the galaxy's perception of humans was about to change. For centuries, aliens had whispered tales of human space, imagining monsters or weapons of unimaginable power. They did not understand that humans had never relied on brute strength. Humans relied on intelligence, adaptability, and cooperation qualities that no one could easily match. The Resolute returned to Haven 1-2, where Admiral Selene Mora awaited. The older woman greeted Lyra warmly. "Captain, you've seen only the beginning," Selene said. "Now it's time to show the galaxy what humans truly represent." Lyra nodded. "I am ready. We must let them see that humans do not dominate by force, but by ingenuity." Word spread quickly across the frontier that a human ship had surveyed the edge of human space. Alien civilizations, curious but cautious, sent envoys and observers. For the first time in generations, humans prepared to demonstrate their abilities openly. The first visitors were a delegation from a nearby star system, including representatives from 3 different species. They arrived in sleek ships, cautiously approaching the frontier. Their goal was simple: understand humans, and perhaps test the limits of human space. Lyra welcomed them aboard the Resolute. "You are safe here," she said calmly. "Human space is protected, not to threaten you, but to preserve life. We hope to show you why the galaxy respects us." The aliens were skeptical. They had heard the tales but never expected humans to invite them so openly. As the delegation toured the ship, they saw systems unlike any they had encountered: adaptive shields that responded to changes in energy, AI networks predicting multiple outcomes at once, and displays showing simulations of past frontier encounters. One alien ambassador, a tall being with luminous eyes named Kylan, spoke carefully. "Humans, your technology is impressive. But it is not just technology. Your strategies, your coordination. It is as if the frontier itself thinks with you." Lyra smiled. "Exactly. Human ingenuity turns space into a partner, not just a resource. We adapt, we anticipate, and we survive. That is why no species dares enter human space without permission." The next phase of the demonstration was designed to be more active. A controlled simulation was prepared, showing how humans could respond to a fleet attempting to breach the frontier. Alien envoys watched from observation decks as energy fields shifted. Autonomous drones moved strategically, and communication grids anticipated intruder behavior. No shots were fired. No destruction occurred. Yet the aliens saw clearly that any unprepared fleet would fail against humans. One by one, the alien ships withdrew, humbled and astonished. Kylan turned to Lyra. I understand now. Humans do not need to attack. Your brilliance is defense enough. You have created an environment where intruders cannot succeed. Lyra nodded. And it is not just the technology. It is humans themselves. Our curiosity drives us to explore. Our cooperation allows us to act together. And our ingenuity ensures we survive in ways others cannot imagine. Over the following weeks, more species arrived to observe and learn. Humans shared knowledge selectively, demonstrating principles of coordination, adaptation, and foresight. They did not boast or threaten. They simply showed the galaxy that the stories were true. Humans were unpredictable, resourceful, and capable of surviving and thriving under conditions that would overwhelm others. Lyra realized that this demonstration was historic. For generations, humans had been underestimated. Now, the galaxy would see clearly that human space was protected not by aggression, but by brilliance. One day, an entire fleet of alien ships attempted a cautious approach. It was the largest coalition ever gathered near the frontier. They were curious, testing the limits of human defense, but confident in their own capabilities. Lyra and the crew of the Resolute monitored the approach carefully. "This is it," she said. "Observe and learn. Show them what humans are capable of, without harming them." The fleet entered the outer boundary of human space. Immediately, the frontier responded. Energy fields shifted to redirect ships safely, sensors projected illusions to confuse navigation, and autonomous drones shadowed every move. The aliens tried to adjust their tactics, but every attempt was anticipated. Their communications were disrupted at critical moments, their engines challenged by unseen anomalies, and their formations gently but firmly corrected by systems that humans had designed generations ago. Hours passed. The alien fleet, exhausted and unable to penetrate the frontier, finally retreated. They were unharmed, yet the message was clear. Human space was impenetrable, not through raw firepower, but through preparation, intelligence, and adaptability. Back on the Resolute, Lyra addressed her crew. "Do you see now? Humans do not inspire fear through destruction. We inspire respect through ingenuity. That is the true power of human space." The alien envoys documented everything. Reports were sent to distant star systems, detailing human capabilities, strategies, and philosophy. The galaxy would never again underestimate humanity. No species would dare enter human space lightly, not because humans sought to conquer, but because humans had created a system that ensured survival and adaptability. Lyra reflected on the journey. From the disabled alien ship at the border to the demonstrations aboard frontier stations, the lesson had been consistent. Humans protect their own, not by overwhelming force, but by thinking ahead, preparing, and adapting. Every obstacle had been met with creativity. Every challenge had been turned into an opportunity to learn. Admiral Celine Mora joined Lyra on the observation deck. "Captain, you have seen the future. Humans will continue to expand, explore, and protect, but always with the principles we hold dear. Ingenuity first, cooperation second, survival third. That is why no species dares enter human space." Lyra gazed at the stars. "It is not fear that keeps them away. It is understanding. They have seen the human way and respect it. That is far more powerful than fear." The alien ambassadors prepared to return to their home systems. Before leaving, Kylan approached Lyra. "I will carry your lessons back. Your people are extraordinary. The galaxy has underestimated you for too long. Now we know. Humans are not just survivors, they are masters of strategy, ingenuity, and life itself." Lyra smiled. "Thank you, Kylan. Tell them that humans do not seek war. We seek understanding, exploration, and survival. And if anyone enters human space unprepared, they will see our way and respect it." As the alien ships departed, the frontier returned to quiet vigilance. The autonomous systems continued to monitor the edges, ready for any new arrivals. Humans had not changed, they were still explorers, still thinkers, still adaptable. But now the galaxy had learned the truth. The Resolute prepared for its next mission. Lyra and her crew would continue to chart the frontier, uncovering secrets, observing anomalies, and documenting the human way. But now, they did so with the knowledge that their work had changed the galaxy's perception of humanity forever. For generations, humans had been underestimated. Now, the galaxy would know that human space was not just territory, it was a testament to the brilliance of humanity. Humans had survived and thrived against the unknown, not through sheer force, but through ingenuity, unity, and courage. That was the legacy of human space. As Lyra looked out at the endless stars, she felt a quiet pride. The galaxy had learned what humans had always known. The true power of humanity lay not in weapons or fleets, but in intelligence, adaptability, and the courage to face the unknown. And so, human space remained untouched, respected, and admired. No species dared enter, not because humans sought to dominate, but because humans had created a frontier that could not be overcome without understanding the human way. The stars stretched endlessly before them, silent witnesses to a species that had learned to survive, thrive, and inspire. Captain Lyra Venn knew that the story of human space was only beginning. The frontier awaited, full of challenges, discoveries, and lessons. And humanity, as always, would meet them head-on, with ingenuity, courage, and unity. For the first time, the galaxy understood why no species dared enter human space. And for the first time, humans could take their place among the stars not as conquerors, but as exemplars of intelligence, resilience, and brilliance.